remember 2 years ago, Martin said on the bridal briefing, yeah, be careful. I don't know which day, but before the service point, it was a little bit tricky downhill. So be take your time, and maybe it's better you go off on bike. For gold class, no problem, but for the other classes, take it easy. Every gold rider was moving the bike down. It was absolutely impossible to go on the bike, and it was so funny. He said, yeah, maybe it's a little bit technical.
What's up, Dieter? Welcome to the World Hard Enduro podcast.
Hello, all good, thanks. I'm really happy to be a part of the World Hard Enduro podcast. It's my first time, so I hope it works great.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, so we just recently wrapped up the last race, C2 Scar. Tell us more about what happened there from your experience, from a rider experience.
The last one, C2 Sky, was pretty nice. I was there 3 times, so I know exactly what's happened there, and I really like the place in Turkey, in Kema. It's a really nice area. You stay directly next to the sea and start from the sea and go up in the really high mountains, so it's really special, completely different to the other races. And I really like it because every time I take my family with me and we spend some days there and spend holidays, it's pretty cool. And this year was the first time to be a part of the World Championship. So it was absolutely clear the level goes a little bit higher. It was a pretty cool race.
Yeah, I want to also comment on the location. We spoke about it in our previous podcast, how beautiful it looks. I mean, we saw the Instagram stories from everyone, and it really looked like such a holiday destination, not only a hard enduro event, but somewhere where you can take your family and friends and go swim in the ocean and have a good time together.
Yes, of course. On the first days, first we start on the beach race. We spent there more or less the whole day because I was not the film rider, so I have also to the qualification in the morning. But it was good, so we have time for do some practice laps. And on the first heat, the matrix was a little bit tricky because it was they put some water on the trees directly before we start, so it was really slippery. And after, I think, the 5th rider, it was more or less impossible to go over the obstacles, so it was a little bit funny. But yeah, I had a good qualification lap. And after that, in the afternoon, we start with the heats to come to the final, and it worked not that bad on the first 2 heats. I think I finished on a 2nd position, so I was really happy. But of course, after that, more and more pro riders come in the races, so it was quite hard. And on the semi-final, I finished, I think, on position 8, so it was done. But the final race was incredible with all the big boys and Billy Money. It was nice to see it, how they ride. It was so funny.
Yeah, I also want to comment on your riding. I saw a clip of you coming through after the matrix over the rocks. There's a right-hand corner through the tires, like kind of a tire wall, but it's a bit flat. And you went on the inside and you absolutely hit it like a berm. I swear, it was like you're coming through a corner, just full DD style, coming through that corner. Everyone's going a bit slower, just trying to get the weights in the back, trying to get over these obstacles, and you just putting leg out, foot out, and just railing around the corner. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, this part of the beach race was really strange because it looks not that difficult, but it was so easy to fuck up there. So on the first time lapse, I have really big problems there. It was I dropped in a little bit too fast, I think, and then I hit one tire with my front and lose all the
All right.
speed. So I thought, okay, in the heats, I tried to make it a little bit slower, and then after the corner, full gas and try to go out as fast as I can. So it
Yeah,
works
that
not
was
that
pretty.
bad.
Yeah, that looked pretty sick. But let's move on to the final day. So the forest day was a bit faster. What it looked a bit faster, and it also played into the hands of someone like Wade that's really quick in those types of conditions. But then the main race day, the final mountain race, seemed a lot tougher this year compared to previous years. Can I get your comments from a rider perspective, like actually how tough was that loop?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this year it was funny because I go to the start on the starting grid, and then I spoke with some other guys and with Sonny, and 2 minutes before the start, he said, "Hey, you have to take a look about the rocks directly after the start." And I said, "No, which rocks?" And he said, "Yeah, there was a little loop and then a sketchy downhill on the rocks." And I said, "Oh no, I don't take a look about that." And then Eric said, "Okay, 2 minutes to the start." And I, oh, okay, well, now it's getting funny. But for me, it was sure I was not the first guy to enter the rocks. So I was directly, I had a good start. I was directly behind Mitch Brightmore. And then I said, okay, take it easy. I will see how he goes over the rocks. And for me, the main thing was the first 5 or 10 minutes after the start, sitting on the bike, take it easy because the big river canyon is really, yeah, it's really dangerous when you go so fast because you don't see the rocks because of the dust. So my plan was following the pro guys, a little bit safety, and then for sure after, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes the race starts and you can find your rhythm and try to keep pushing. And yeah, it works pretty good because after the first river section, I think I was maybe around top 10. I was in front of Graham. I overtook Alfredo, and yeah, so it in front of Moret. So it was pretty good. Um, and then I saw some guys they risk a lot. The Czech guy Nedved, he overtook me
Yeah.
in the canyon really fast. I think double speed that I have, and 5 seconds later he crashed really bad.
Yes.
So I said, okay, take it easy. And yeah, this year it was a little bit funny because after the start we dropped in the big canyon, then we go out in another small canyon. And I think we do the track from last year forest race before we come to the main canyon with the bridges and everything. And
Right.
it was quite long. I think we ride there maybe an hour or something like that. Only flowy trails, single trails. It was really cool to ride, but it was incredible dusty. So if a guy overtook you, it was really hard to follow them. And yeah, my focus was, yeah, relax it. I know it's a long and really hard way to go up to the mountain. And yeah, then before I come in the main canyon, Alfredo was really close behind me, and he was for sure a little bit faster than me, but it was hard for him to overtake me. And then in the big canyon, I risk a little bit too much. I dropped in a big water hole, and my front wheel stuck, and I go over the handlebar directly in the deep water. So also the bike was underwater, and I struggling that I I turned it on again, but I was lucky. Everything works, and there for sure Alfredo overtook me, and after that I tried to yeah catch Alfredo again. Yeah, and then we go up and we try to go up in the high mountains, and from that moment on, I think I was not sure. I think after the exit from silver class, the level goes higher and higher. And after the big canyon, we come in a small. I think there was the Gray Canyon or something like that. I never was
Dark
there
Canyon, I
before.
think.
Dark Canyon, yeah. And oh my God, it was never ending. Some really loose uphills, and
Mm.
it was super hot. So yeah, from that moment on, I was struggling struggling a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel all in all, I feel really good on the bike. The problem was,
Mm.
I think after checkpoint 9, I was in the big canyon,
Mm.
and I think more or less in the middle of that, I touched a massive stone with my
Mm.
rear tire, and
Mm.
I destroyed my rim. So I tried to
Mm.
fix it, but it was not possible to go up anymore, and I was really sad because for sure I was not 100% fit at this moment, but I think I have enough power to manage it to the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's racing. Every time this can happen.
Exactly. That's racing. These things happen pretty much all the time to everyone. I mean, we saw Mario Roman's exhaust pipe as well, just completely destroyed. So yeah, it definitely happens at all levels of hard enduro. But coming a little bit back of like where you began hard enduro, like can you share with us like where did it begin for you?
Yeah, I start. I think when I was 4 years old, my father buy a small motocross bike, but only for, we had a little farm, and he buy a motorbike, and I can play around with my older brother. So it was only just for fun, and we ride in the forest, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And I think when I was 7 or 8 years old, my father was never a motorbike rider. He only do it just for fun. But one time he buy a trial bike, and we kids saw it and say, "Oh, okay, what is that? We also want to try this." And yeah, we try it, but it was a 250 Beta, a
Mm.
big one, and we are small kids. It was way too strong and too big, but yeah, it was funny. And so my plan was always, I like to go to to jump on a motocross bike. My father said no, it's a little bit too dangerous, and he had also no experience about that. But maybe we can start with trial. And then yeah, okay, let's do it like this. And at the end, I think it was a really good plan from him because, yeah, in trials you start to learn the basics and how the technique for everything what you need on the motorcycle. Yeah, and then I do trials. First time also only just for fun, playing around in the forest, and then we go to some little races, and at the end I go to the Austrian Championship. Do this for I think 10 years. And then I was a little bit boring because of the trial championship. It was not, it was funny, but it makes me not that happy. I miss a little bit the speed or the main to main
Mm.
battle. And yeah, then I start to work. I think I do 1 or 2 years, more or less nothing, only riding just for fun.
Mm.
And yeah, one time I spoke with a friend of me, and he buys a enduro bike and say, hey, that's really cool. You also need an enduro bike. And then I said, okay, yeah, come on, I will try it. I bought a used gas, and I think after I have absolutely no experience about enduro. Okay, I saw it sometimes on TV, and I know I was not that far from Erzberg, so I know the Erzberg Rodeo. But after I bought the used gas, my friend say, hey, we will go to the Erzberg Rodeo if you're interested to come with us. And I say, "Mm, okay, I have no experience, but okay, we go there and I will try." Yeah, and then I think this was the start from my enduro career. So on the first year when I go was there, I finished my race on position 97. And then I thought, okay, I have absolutely no training, no idea what is necessary for extreme enduro, but it was not that bad. So maybe when I try training a little bit more for next year, I think it can be good. Yeah. So yeah, this
Yeah.
was that was a start from my enduro career. I have never planned that I
Mm.
go to big races like world championship races or something like that. It was only uh, a funny idea, and I like the format. I like the challenge.
Yeah. I think that we hear about trials riding being such an integral part of a lot of the hard enduro riders, right? Especially the ones that are doing very well in the championship. And I think that that is just such a good foundation for riding hard enduro. As you said, like your clutch control, your balance on a motorcycle, just understanding the dynamics of riding a motorcycle, an off-road motorcycle, is so transferable into that hard enduro scene. You can get onto a a secondhand gas that you bought, and for the first time ride an enduro bike and finish races like Erzberg. It's pretty cool. It's pretty phenomenal, actually. At what point in your career did you figure out that you were like, okay, I'm actually getting good at this, right? I think after the first time, it's like, okay, I can do this. But then at what point was it like, well, hang on, I can actually compete. I can actually win a championship, Austrian national championship, or whatever it is, right? Like big races like Red Bull Romaniacs and Erzberg.
Uh, I don't know.
Mm,
I have never planned that because I go to one race and I finished that, and then I said, okay, it was not that bad. Okay, I will train a little bit more, but my main focus, I have always a standard job, so it was
mm,
not that easy to manage everything. But I, for sure, in my free time, I was every time on the bike. And then I have a lot of friends. They ride professional, and I always train with them and take a look, okay, what they do and how much time they spend, and I take a look about this career. And for sure, I ask myself a lot of times, is it better to stop maybe the work and try to put
mm.
all in and try to be a professional rider? But yeah, it's not that easy for sure. It's and okay, maybe you can come to the top 10, top 15. Maybe it's possible if you have a good technique, but after that, the air was really thin, and it's really
Mm,
hard to go to the, I don't know, top five, top three.
right.
It's really hard. But so my main goal was always come back from the races in one piece and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
risk all. Of course, when you stay on the starting grid, the main focus is, okay, give your best and try to go forward. The race after, I don't know, 30 minutes, you
Mm,
realize, okay, be focused, stay safe
mm,
on the bike, and not risk all.
yeah.
So yeah, this is my goal. And because of the races, I start with small national races. I do it really good, but this was more or less only cross country. We don't have
Mm,
extreme enduro races in Austria, only Erzberg. So I do Erzberg, I think, for 3 or 4 times, and after that I thought, okay, I was also interesting to go to other international races. So for sure, the first thing
mm,
was I will go to Romania and will practice Romaniacs once in my life, but it's really expensive. So I spoke a
mm,
lot with other guys, with other pro guys. How difficult is it, and what's the best plan to do it the first time? And a really good friend of me, he was riding gold, I think twice before. And then I asked him, hey, what do you think? And he dropped directly in the gold class, never start in
mm,
silver or some lower classes. And then I thought, okay, no, if I want to go to Romaniacs, I will do the silver class before, because I have no experience for hard enduro rally, how
Mm,
it works and how difficult is it to
mm,
stay 6 7 hours on a bike in 4 days in a row. And yeah, I think that was maybe the best idea what I had, because this year in Silva it was unbelievable. It was so nice to ride. It was not that easy, but
mm.
okay, I was good enough uh, to win the race. It was
To win, yes.
absolutely yeah. It was really amazing because I enjoy every minute on the bike in this year. And then next year I dropped in the gold class and was 100% different. So if you ask me how was the track, I don't can say because I have focused only this. I saw the 3 meters in front of my front wheel, but nothing else. And on silver
Yeah.
class, I was riding like, wow, oh my God, this view is unbelievable. The high mountain is so nice. But in gold class, you have no time for
Yeah.
check out this. So yeah, it was a really big difference.
Would you say that in this 24 season, would you say that the Red Bull Romaniacs Gold class was the toughest race you did this year?
Absolutely, it was unreal because I was not okay. I was not super fit, but I was not that bad in shape, and I was also had a good race in Serbia. I think I finished on position 16 overall, so it was not that bad. And also Erzberg, I finished on position 12, so I had some good results, and I feel comfortable. But this year, Romaniacs, oh my God, it was a killer. Yeah, the first day was,
Yeah.
it's more or less every year the same. The first day is really, really
Mm,
hard. Um, but this year it was unreal. Directly after the start, we dropped in the first hard section, and for me, after that, it was never ending. We have more or less no transfer. We dropped from one hard checkpoint in the next one, and they put I don't know, every hard checkpoints what we know it from the last years in day
yes.
one. And I was for sure. I have also I know some track managers, and they told us, okay, yeah, first day we have also checkpoint no sex, and I thought, okay, oh my
Mm,
God, that was a really, really tough one from last year, and it was crazy. If I think I arrived the service point and they won around 3 o'clock or maybe 3:30, so I was full dead at the service point, and then also the weather changed a little bit. It started
mm,
raining, but
yeah.
that was not the biggest problem. It was because it was so hard. And after
Mm,
after the service point, I come next to David Cyprian,
mm,
and after the service point we have a 1 hour liaison, so it was a little bit time to recover. But
mm,
if you are so out of power. Also, the liaison is hard to ride. If you are,
mm,
yeah, you have no energy anymore, then it's really hard. And after that, we go up in the mountains. I forgot the name of
mm,
the
mm,
checkpoint, but it was also a really tough one. And me and David, we help each other for sure 10 times in 500 meters. So it was more or less not possible to do it alone. And then we come to
yeah.
the checkpoint. What was the name? I forgot it. Where was the zip line? A
Oh, yes.
really crazy downhill to the river
Mm,
section. Yeah, it was. I think we was sure. Okay, we are time barred, but it was no
mm,
way to go back. We come up a really technical uphill, and
mm,
say, okay, we don't go this uphill down, so we go
mm,
forward. For sure, we come on some place, we cross a road or something like that, and then we go out. But
mm,
from that moment when we say, okay, for sure we are out, so the only focus is now go back to Sibiu. I think from that moment on, we spend another 1 hour 30, 2 hours in the forest, and then we come to the zip line, and was lucky there was the guys was there to yeah zip the bikes down to the street. And I think we come back to CBU at 7:30 p.m. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a really hard day. And yeah, okay, after day one, Martin said, okay, sorry, maybe it was a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
Next day we do it, it's easier.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I think the second day was around 180 or
Mm.
190 kilometers. So also when this day was easier, 190 kilometers is quite long to
Mm.
ride. And
Yeah.
directly after the start, we drop in the Live Maniac section. It was I don't know, it was cliffhanger or something like that. I don't
Mm.
remember, but it
Mm.
was it was a not an easy one, but it was okay. And after that, it was really nice to ride 2 hours only with silver. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice riding in the forest was super cool. But after that, I realized, okay, now we go up in the really high mountains again, and then we come
Mm.
to the Forgotten Trail. And I checked my time, and I thought, okay, I'm on the bike again 6 hours. I was full dead, and there was no service point. And on the Forgotten Trail, it's really special. You are on the super super high mountains, and
Mm.
you ride to the small bushes. It is you don't can see the track. You only check the GPS, and sometimes you see a marker on the bushes,
Yeah.
and it was never ending. I think I crashed there 10 times, and I was full empty of power. And then I thought, okay, I don't know when come the service point. For sure, on the high mountains there is no service point. The service is for sure
Yeah.
in the village. So I don't know. I arrived the service point at the end 4 seconds too late, so I was time barred because of 4 seconds. That was
Uh,
really really sad. And
yeah.
I also the other riders told me after the service was only one hard sections, and
Mm.
then they go to the finish. So I think it was possible. Maybe I can do it, but yeah, okay, I was time barred on this day. It was really really bad.
Yeah. Speaking about Martin, and I found that also being at Romaniacs, you can't always trust what he says, because if he says it's a 1 meter drop, it's probably a 2 meter drop. Or if he says it's going to be a 4 hour day, it's probably going to be a 6 hour day. Like, yeah, it's pretty funny. So I always take it with a pinch of salt when Martin tells us something about the track or that's going on. You're just like, okay, maybe it's a little bit more than what he's saying.
Absolutely, and especially in the gold class, if they give you some
Yeah.
infos about the gold class, you can be sure it's a really massive drop. Or
Yeah.
if you say,
Yeah.
I remember 2 years ago, Martin said on the bridal briefing, yeah, be careful. I don't know which day, but before the service point, it was a little bit tricky downhill. So be take your time, and maybe it's better you
Mm.
go off on bike for gold class, no problem. But for the other classes, take it easy.
Mm.
Every gold rider was moving the bike down. It was absolutely impossible to go on the bike, and it was so funny. He said, "Yeah, maybe it's a little bit technical." Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. If they give you some infos in gold class, be try to be
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, I remember this year as well. I think started day one. My class started completely separate from gold. Gold was somewhere else, tackling some crazy stuff. But he said, yeah, there's a little drop. There's a chicken line to go around. The drop is manageable. Everyone should be able to get through that, no problem. It's about a meter high. And then the start of day one, you pull up to the drop and you look down, and it's definitely 2 meters, 2.5 meter drop. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure he said it was about a meter high. So everyone was just then having to figure that out, being like, okay, I was expecting a meter, now it's 2. What do we do? And then just, yeah, I have to send it for the first day. But I want to also ask a question. Like, I think that you are super strong, and also like physically, but also mentally strong with riding, and you have to be to ride a hard enduro. How do you overcome those those times when you're sitting in the mountain, when you realize that you're in the middle of nowhere, you're following a GPS? How do you mentally get over that? Because not many people can do that.
Yeah, it's I saw that I can give maybe 10% more when I thought I'm done. I
Mm.
find some percent to put it in to finish one race, like
Mm.
Erzberg. With on Erzberg, when you It's completely different if you ride Erzberg or Romaniacs, because on Romaniacs you have really save your energy because you don't know what's happened in 1 or 2 hours. If you saw the GPS and you say, okay, now it's only 10 Ks to the finish, it means nothing because this 10
Mm,
Ks can be absolutely
mm,
nightmare. But on Erzberg, okay, I know the mountain really good, and I know how much energy I can put into maybe to come to the finish. And if you're thinking, okay, now you're out of power, you can try to I don't know, put a little bit more in and manage
mm.
it to the finish. From yeah, I don't know why, but I'm not that bad in this, so I
Yeah,
can push a lot. But on Romaniacs, if you spend so much time on the bike, it's really hard. And I never will
yeah.
do that because it's really risky. On Erzberg, it's safe. It's a small track, and if you have a
Mm,
really big problem, they can help you. But
mm.
on the Romaniacs, when you are, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere, I will never do that to risk everything and put all in, and maybe something
Mm,
happened, you have a really big problem. And
yeah,
sure, they need a lot of time to pick you up and find you. So on this that kind of races, I will never do that, because on
yeah,
small like sprint races like Erzberg, okay, you can put all in and 10% more to risk everything and
yeah,
try to get the best result.
yeah. It's quite crazy. As I said, I think that hard enduro riders have a level of mental fitness that not many people speak about, because it is ridiculous actually what you guys are doing inside these mountains, the situations that you are in, and you find yourself in every minute of every hour of the 6 or 8 hour day in Romaniacs, or even Erzberg. Like some of the sections, it's all or nothing. If you don't commit, you're not going to get up. So there's either you're committing and you're going full gas and you're giving it your all, or you're going to be cartwheeling down the hill, and your bike's also going to be cartwheeling down the hill. So I think that's pretty awesome. And yeah, I really respect that from the hard enduro top elite riders like yourself that are entering these races. It's flipping awesome. I wanted to ask you, so I don't think that you're going to Hispania, which is next weekend, right?
Yeah, it's not 100% sure. My bike is already in Spain, but I'm not
Oh,
100% sure if I can manage it with my work. So
mm,
we will seeing at the beginning of next week. Is it
mm,
possible or not? My plan was to go there, but yeah, this year it was a lot of races. I think I do
mm,
every World Championship race, only America. I miss it.
yes, yeah.
But yeah, it's quite a lot, and also, if you have a standard job, it's not that easy to get everything under one hut. So yeah.
And there's a big thanks obviously to XGrip, which is your sponsor, which obviously helps you as you are a working guy. You got your 9 to 5 job that you're trying to manage and your family, and then still travel around the world to do these races. So yeah, teams like XGrip that are doing this, I think are really cool, and I definitely commend what they're doing. And that's what we need in the sport. We can't all be top 5, top 3 riders sponsored by the factory teams and making this a career. And unfortunately, but I wish that was the case, that we could all be like that. But I think that, to have them come in and really support riders like yourself and Valentina and Klaus Bischoff, and also the juniors, getting them going is really cool.
Absolutely. Without the X-Grip, for me, it was absolutely not possible to manage everything, to come to the big
Mm,
races, and to have mechanics there and service partners and everything. So it's unbelievable. I'm super happy that I'm in the team and that they will do a really great job and help me a lot.
mm.
And yeah, so I'm really thankful, and I hope also for next year we work together. And yeah, I only can say thank you, and it's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
Talking about next year, what is your plans for 2025? Will we see you possibly enter FIM championship? I mean, if you enter the FIM class this year, I think you'd do pretty well still, right? Because you've entered most of the races except for TKO. But I mean, yeah, without that drop away or that throwaway race in a way, you would still be pretty good in the championship because you competed really well in most of the races. So, well, what is the plan for 2025 for you?
Yeah, at the moment, I think we don't have, or I don't have a 100% clear plan. For sure, I will go to some races. That's 100% sure, like Romaniacs, Erzberg, Serbia. I think that's for sure. And also for sure, go to the Getzen Rodeo. It's one of my favorite races. With the crowd is absolutely incredible. But I think the whole World Championship is maybe not possible. I will see. I will check it how it goes with my job. What's happened there at the moment is also a little bit hard time. It's not so nice. We will see what's happened in the next months. And I also in contact with X-Grip to make a plan who riding with us, maybe become another team rider. We will see. It's not 100% clear, but for sure we will see us on some big races, maybe on every race. We will see. I don't know exactly.
Awesome. I hope so. I really do hope so. But speaking about X-Grip, I have a question for you, and I think that the listeners must pay attention right now because we have a giveaway coming up. But I want to know, Dieter, what is the X-Grip product that you cannot live without? What is your number one favorite X-Grip product?
Okay, yeah, for sure, X-Grip have a lot of really good parts. But I think, okay, I'm hard enduro rider, and one of the most necessary parts what you need is the rear brake protection. So if you, it's so easy to damage the rear brake disc, and the X-Grip one is so massive and pretty nice. It works absolutely great. So I think everyone needs this.
Awesome, and I also want to just. If you are a listener listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, wherever you watch or listen to your podcast, and you've listened this far and you got that answer locked in, please be sure to check out our social media where you can have a chance to win some X-Grip products. So let's see. We can find out more information on our social media page a little bit later in the week. But Dieter, I think that pretty much comes to the end of our podcast. I want to thank you so much for coming on. It's been really cool chatting, and I really, really hope to see you at Xpania, and then also for pushing you all the best of luck for 2025 and the future ahead. And yeah, we need your personality in hard enduro, so keep on going for it.
Thank you very much for this chance. It was really nice, and yeah, I try to go to Hispania and try to make a good race, and for sure we will see us.